Hello YouTube. Today I'll be giving you a little bit of a different video today. Today will be a video about how to fix ink issues within your fountain pens. So I want to give two different approaches for two different styles of pens. Well, I shouldn't say styles, they're both fountain pens. It's just one has a converter without a nib that's removable nor a feed, so you cannot remove the feed or the nib. Just the converter, and another pen that does not have a removable nib or removable feed or a converter. It's just a normal cartridge. This is the Cross Aventura. This pen, and people that have bought this pen from Staples recently or when they had the price tag of $20 have been experiencing a great deal of issues with ink flow. So I want to just address that because I've been getting different messages back from people saying, how did your Aventura work and mine not? And we got it virtually from the same store or same type of store. So I just want to address that issue. And so that's the Cross Aventura. And this is the Shafer 100. It really has no problems with it. And I haven't had an issue with the pen. But I just want to show how you would resolve issues with a pen with a converter and how you could possibly resolve any ink issues and use the converter to your benefit. So let's start with the most problematic pen. Right now it does work for myself, but I'm going to show you the techniques of getting it to work if you're having issues with it. So first, of course, uncap the pen. And we're just going to say, hypothetically, we're going to take the pen off and we're going to say that the pen isn't writing. And the pen is not writing well. And as you just saw, I took out the cartridge. And even though it's writing right now, after a while the feed will run out of ink because it's not being supplied by anything. So what I like to tell people, if you have this in here and you're having issues with the feed, you're having issues with the feed, how about you check to see the level of the ink? Is it full? Is it full? Is it empty? And that's just a great way to start to see what your issues are with your pen. If it's full and still not writing, it's probably something wrong with the feed. But like I stated earlier, you can't take out the feed nor the nib with this pen. So now you're probably wondering, how else can you resolve this issue? You can flush the pen with water. There are different methods of flushing pens, like with bulb syringes, which are these circular syringes. I do not have one personally because I never quite needed one, but you can use that method. Or what I do is when you have the ink cartridge out and it's separated in this small cavity, depending on the pen you have, because I have ruined one pen by doing it this way, so I am warning you in advance. I have just put it underneath the faucet on such low pressure that it drips out. Well, it doesn't really drip out. It's so light of a pressure that it has a stream in the beginning and then it begins to drip once it gets closer to hitting the surface of your sink. So I have a little bit of pressure and I just allow the water to flow through. And it will flush out any dirt, ink, air that's in here, and we'll keep flushing it out. I do it until it flushes out clean water. Once it flushes out clean water, I know that the feed and the nib are clean. Then I go back and I put on the cartridge with the ink, snap it in, and then I put on the back of the pen. And what I do is I just write. I continue to write and write and write, and you will get clear water coming out, and then it'll begin to mix with the ink. And as it mixes with the ink, you will begin to get more and more ink until there's no more water, and then you're just purely writing with ink, and then you flush your pen completely, which is a great thing. But that's really the only ways you can manage to clean these pens, because it's more difficult because you can't take the inner insides of the pen to clean those aspects individually and then put them back into the pen. Now, that is how you clean a pen without a converter, without a removable feed, and without a removable nib. Cross Aventura. Now, say hello to the Shafer 100. This only has it does not have a removable feed or removable nib. All it has is a converter. With the converter, should have pulled the cap off first, maybe. Oh, that's not going to happen. So let's try this again. Screw this back on, and then when you pull off the cap, then you unscrew the barrel. When I want to try to get anything that's stuck within the feed, since the feed doesn't come out, nor the nib, I try to turn the piston of the converter so the ink is forced to flow up the converter. And as you can see, if the pen is working correctly, how should I hold this? If the pen is working correctly, you should see the ink coming out through the gills. Let's see if I can get enough of it out. And coming up through the nib. As you can see, hopefully, there's ink coming out the top, because I've managed to force it up through the feed because I am turning the piston converter. And if you have a push converter, you can do the same exact thing by forcing the ink up through the feed and out of the gills off the top of the pen. That's how you can test to see if the feed is blocked with anything in there. Also, you can do that with water to flush the pen out by having water in here and pushing the water all the way up through the feed and out the top of the pen. That will flush out your pen clean, which is a little bit easier than having to deal with a pen that doesn't have a converter that you can just push the water out through at will. So I think that this is, by having a converter, this is very beneficial to a pen that does not have removable feed or nib. So now I'll put the ink that I just wasted. So that's basically the easy fixes on ink flows. I mean, there are solutions to help move the ink that's stuck in the feed. Personally, I don't think that's necessary. Maybe I've heard that a little water and ammonia mixture in the converter while trying to flush it usually happens to loosen up the dirt and the ink that's in really old pens that have caked on ink and dirt. But I haven't needed to do any of that because my pens are relatively new. So I hope this has been beneficial and helpful. And if not, please like, comment, subscribe. I'll be happy to answer any of your questions. I really, really hope this is beneficial. And to everyone that asked me to do this, I hope you guys really enjoyed. And everyone who didn't, I hope you guys enjoyed too. So please like, comment, subscribe for more of your gadgets, um, pens, headphones, technologies. If you just want to talk about something, that's fine too. So I hope to see you guys soon and have a nice day.